When the Lakers rolled into this preseason, few expected a name like RJ Davis to generate real buzz. But here we are, just 2 games in, and the chatter is impossible to ignore. This kid has been turning heads. Originally brought in through the Summer League, RJ Davis wasn't a name on anyone's radar as a potential impact player. But he's forced the Lakers and fans to take notice. He's doing everything you want from a guard trying to earn a spot in the league. Defending hard, making smart plays, and showing that edge you don't often see from undrafted rookies. What's been impressive is that Davis isn't just getting cardio out there. He's showing real substance. He's been aggressive, not shying away from contact, attacking the rim, and knocking down open looks. He's got that scrappy edge, a true 3, and deep profile with some self-creation thrown in, and that alone puts him in a different category from your typical G League filler. It's early, of course, and no one's suggesting he's going to leapfrog into a starting role. But in terms of value off the bench and long-term upside, the Lakers might have something here. Let's not forget where this guy comes from. RJ Davis is a North Carolina product, and if you know anything about UNC, you know they don't churn out passive, low-motor guards. They develop high IQ, high-effort players. You see it in Davis's game every minute he's on the floor. The hustle is nonstop. He gets into guys defensively, sprints in transition, and plays with that chip on his shoulder that undrafted players almost have to bring if they want to survive. He's not waiting for an opportunity. He's seizing every second he gets. And while it's true, much of his production has come against bench units or guys likely headed to their team's G League affiliates. We've also seen him hold his own against legitimate NBA rotation players. Against teams like Phoenix and Golden State, RJ didn't back down. He competed, got buckets, and looked like he belonged. That's all you can really ask for at this stage. Is he ready to be part of the 15-man roster right now? Maybe not. The Lakers still have veteran options they trust more in a playoff push. But RJ is putting himself firmly on the radar for the future. Now, we got to talk about the physical profile, because yes, there's a real concern there. He's 6 feet tall, maybe a shade over 180 in weight. That's undersized by NBA standards, no question. Especially when you're going to be guarding guards who are 6'4", 6'5" on the regular, with size and length that can create matchup problems. But then again, this isn't the first time we've seen smaller guards succeed by sheer will, effort, and smarts. Gabe Vincent, who RJ Davis has been compared to, isn't a big guard either. He's carved out a role by knowing who he is and playing within that. RJ has that same vibe. If the Lakers do end up moving someone like Gabe Vincent, or if they choose not to bring him back after the season to save cap space, a guy like RJ Davis becomes even more valuable. Because now you're not just talking about a preseason story, you're talking about someone who could realistically step into a rotational spot. Someone who gives you defense, hustle, energy, and a little shot creation on a minimum contract. That's gold when you're a team trying to manage the cap while keeping your stars paid. Especially when you're already looking at potentially paying Austin Reeves upwards of $35 to $40 million and another 20+ for someone like DeAndre Ayton if that pairing continues to develop. It's all about finding value, and RJ Davis screams value. He's 23 now, about to turn 24 in a couple weeks, so he's not a teenager you're hoping will develop 4 years down the line. He's close to who he's going to be, and honestly, that's not a bad thing. There's maturity to his game. He understands his role. He's not trying to be a 20-point scorer. He's trying to get minutes, help a team win games, and carve out a lane for himself in the league. Teams need that. The 7th, 8th, 9th man who can eat up minutes in the regular season, play hard, defend, and not complain about touches. That's what makes Davis intriguing. He's not flashy, but he's efficient. He's not looking to be the star. He's looking to be the glue. Someone who fills in the gaps and does the things that don't show up on the stat sheet. Diving for loose balls, making the extra pass, getting his hands dirty on defense. That's the type of player every successful team has somewhere on the bench. The Lakers know this. They've had success over the years identifying those high-character, high-effort college veterans who just want a shot. And when they buy in, they deliver. And there's a sense of urgency with Davis that you don't always see. He knows what's at stake. Go undrafted in today's NBA, and the margin for error is razor thin. You don't get the leash a top pick gets. You have to prove yourself every second every possession. And that pressure, that desperation, you see it in the way he plays. He's not here to take anything for granted. He's here to show that he belongs. Even if it means being the 10th guy off the bench who just works his tail off in practice and comes in for 8 minutes of hard-nosed defense when called upon. Look, not every player is going to be an all-star. Not everyone's going to average 20 points a game. You need guys who are going to complement your stars, do the dirty work, and play with pride. RJ Davis looks like that kind of guy. There's a ceiling to what he can be, sure. But there's also a clear path for him to be a contributor. Whether that's in the G League this year, or potentially sliding into a two-way, or even a vet min role next season. Depends on how he continues to perform and how the Lakers roster shakes out. But let's be real. What he's doing right now, it matters. These games may not count in the standings, but they count for guys like RJ Davis. Every minute he plays, every shot he takes, every defensive stop, it's all a resume. And so far, that resume is looking pretty good. He's not overwhelmed. He's not out of place. He's rising to the occasion. And when you look at the bigger picture, the Lakers are going to need players like this. Guys who are cheap, effective, and understand their role. With stars eating up massive chunks of the salary cap, you have to hit on the margins. You need to find value at the bottom of your roster. And RJ Davis, right now, looks like a player who could give you just that. Another reason why RJ Davis is such an intriguing prospect is the fit. He doesn't demand the ball. He doesn't need a high usage rate to be effective. He's showing that he can be plugged into different lineups and still contribute. Whether that's spacing the floor with a spot-up three, bringing energy on defense, or simply making the right reads in transition. The Lakers don't need another ball-dominant guard. They need role players who can come in, blend in with the stars, and still bring impact. That's the kind of player Davis is shaping up to be. And for a team like the Lakers, which is constantly dealing with injury management and load balancing over the course of an 82-game season, depth matters. Having guys like Davis who can come in and give you meaningful minutes without needing to be spoon-fed a role, that's huge. You can tell by the way he moves on the court that Davis has a good feel for the game. He's rarely out of position, doesn't take wild shots, and understands spacing. That's a testament to his time at North Carolina, where the coaching staff demands discipline and team-first basketball. You don't survive long in that program by being selfish or unaware. And now that foundation is showing in his pro minutes. He plays like someone who's already absorbed a lot of high-level basketball. He may not be the most explosive athlete or the biggest guy on the floor, but his decision-making is sharp. He knows how to read a defense. He sees the second line of help before it arrives. Those little details, while subtle, matter, especially in a second unit where the margin for error is smaller and the ball movement has to be precise. And while he's still a bit of a question mark physically against elite NBA competition, he's already shown that he's not afraid. He's driving at bigs, absorbing contact, finishing through fouls. That willingness to challenge the paint, even at 6 feet tall, shows confidence. A lot of young guards try to play safe in these early games, especially against shot blockers and long-wing defenders. Not Davis. He's taking it straight to the chest. That kind of toughness, combined with a willingness to defend, already separates him from a large group of players fighting for the same limited spots. You don't have to be perfect as a young guard, but you do have to show that you'll compete every single possession. Now, the Lakers have options. They've got other names in camp, guys who may be more athletic or have better physical tools. But what Davis brings to the table is reliability. That's a word that doesn't get thrown around enough in basketball conversations. Coaches love it. Teammates love it, knowing that when you put a guy out there, he's going to be where he's supposed to be, make the right reads, give full effort. That matters, especially over the long grind of a regular season. Maybe Davis isn't getting minutes in a tight playoff rotation, but on a random Tuesday night in February with a couple of guys out, you need players you can turn to without hesitation. That's where Davis slots in perfectly. And as the Lakers continue to manage their cap space and look toward building a sustainable supporting cast around their stars, it becomes clear just how important these kinds of signings are. You don't win titles with just your top 3 or 4 guys. You win them with the guys who fill out your roster. The ones who come in for 12 to 15 minutes and swing the momentum with a hustle play, a key stop, or a timely three-pointer. Davis has shown he can be that type of player. And if the front office is paying attention, and they usually are when it comes to player development, then RJ should already be on their long-term radar. One interesting point to note is that Davis seems coachable. You can see it in how quickly he adjusts. A mistake he made in Game 1, you didn't see in Game 2. That kind of quick learning curve isn't common among young players, especially those who are fighting for their NBA lives. It means he's listening. It means he's applying feedback. And when you're trying to build chemistry and cohesion within a deep roster, having players who pick things up quickly makes the entire process smoother. And look, fans love a story like this. An underdog guard who grinds his way from summer league minutes into preseason buzz and potentially into a rotation spot. That's the stuff Laker Nation rallies around. It brings energy to the fan base, especially when it feels like the team has found a diamond in the rough. We've seen it before. The Lakers have a history of turning undrafted or overlooked talent into real contributors. Alex Caruso, Austin Reeves. Now, maybe RJ Davis is the next chapter in that story, and he's doing it with the right mix of grit, humility, and hunger. That's the combination that often leads to real success. There's something refreshing about watching a player like Davis. No ego, no sense of entitlement. Just a guy who's grateful for the shot and determined to make the most of it. You watch him, and you can tell he's playing like every possession might be his last. That's the kind of mindset you want from your role players. Because at the end of the day, those are the guys who often make the biggest difference in close games. The stars will get theirs. But when the bench unit holds its own, swings momentum, or closes quarter strong, that's when a good team becomes great. Davis is already proving he can be part of that formula. Of course, the road ahead won't be easy. There are still players to evaluate. Roster cuts will happen. Decisions have to be made. But RJ Davis has done everything within his control so far. He's made his minutes count. He's caught the attention of fans, coaches, and probably some rival scouts as well. And if he can keep up this level of play in training camp and beyond, it's going to be very hard for the Lakers to ignore him. Before we continue, we ask that you leave a like and subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any exclusive Lakers updates. Moving on, whispers are echoing across the league. And if they're true, the balance of power in the NBA could be about to shift dramatically. Multiple sources close to the situation have hinted that Devin Booker, the Phoenix Suns star guard and one of the league's most lethal scorers, may be on his way to Los Angeles to don the iconic purple and gold of the Lakers. While nothing has been made official, the noise surrounding this possible blockbuster move is growing louder by the hour. The speculation began earlier this week when Booker was spotted in Los Angeles, reportedly meeting with figures connected to the Lakers organization. Social media erupted as fans tried to decode every hint, every Instagram story, every cryptic emoji. Some insiders claim the talks have been ongoing for weeks, with the Lakers front office aggressively pursuing another superstar to pair with Anthony Davis and LeBron James, or perhaps even to lead the next generation once LeBron eventually steps away. Booker, 28, has been the face of the Suns since entering the league in 2015. Known for his silky shooting stroke and relentless scoring mentality, he's averaged over 26 points per game across the past 3 seasons. But after years of playoff heartbreak and internal uncertainty in Phoenix, whispers of frustration have followed him. Could this be his moment to chase a championship in a bigger market, under brighter lights? For the Lakers, the move makes almost too much sense. After an inconsistent campaign last season and a series of early playoff exits, the front office is eager to retool around its remaining stars. Adding Booker would instantly inject elite shot creation and offensive firepower, the kind of killer instinct the franchise hasn't consistently seen since Kobe Bryant. Still, there's plenty of skepticism. Booker is under contract with Phoenix for several more years, meaning any move would require a major trade, likely involving multiple first-round picks and key rotation players. Some executives have dismissed the chatter as off-season noise, while others suggest where there's smoke, there's fire. Whether it's fantasy or fact, one thing's certain. The idea of Devin Booker in a Lakers uniform has the entire basketball world holding its breath. And if this rumor proves true, the NBA landscape might never look the same again. Stay informed exclusively about Los Angeles Lakers news. Subscribe to our channel and hit the like button to keep receiving daily updates. Also, share your opinion on the news in the comments, as your contribution is crucial for the Lakers. Stay tuned for the next video.